After the tragic call of Order 66 and the storming of the Jedi Temple by Anakin Skywalker and the 501st, Vader was desperate to begin purging the galaxy of any and all traces of the former Jedi Order, which he now hated with all of his passion. So I'm going to break down the first village that Vader brought his 501st clone troopers to in order to slaughter the citizens and crush the hopes of the few remaining Jedi. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to be notified when I release part 2 of this storyline, where things get pretty crazy. So the story begins on the dry, rocky world of Vulcan, where Darth Vader and his clone troopers have been dispatched to find the fugitive Jedi known as Cho'na Bene, the last remaining of the 3 Jedi who sparked an insurgency on the planet. Once this surviving Jedi is discovered, Vader has permission to either arrest him or execute him on the spot. As Vader and his men exit their vehicle, CT-3636 receives a call from his brother, CT-3632, who is searching another area of Vulcan. 3636 then extends the search radius in hopes of capturing this fugitive Jedi as soon as possible, but before he can even order his troopers to move forward, a flurry of blaster fire rains down from above the group, instantly piercing his chest and sadly killing him on the spot. Vader immediately ignites his lightsaber and begins to ragefully defend his troopers, blocking almost every single bolt that comes his way. He is hit a few times but is able to protect his men. The fugitive Jedi, Cho'na, watches on as the clone troopers of the 501st are worried that their general is pinned down and are attempting to open a path for him. Unfortunately, before they can even attempt this, Cho'na erupts from behind them, killing them instantly with his dual-wielded blue lightsabers. Vader is angered as he continues taking more blaster fire from above him, and the fugitive Jedi begins destroying Vader's swoop bikes. This leads Vader to absolutely burst with rage as he boils with anger and walks towards the rebels firing on him with a fury. One of the rebels supporting the Jedi ignites his pyro grenade, ready to throw it at the Dark Lord, pulling his arm back and lining up the shot. The fugitive Jedi continues doing damage to Vader's vehicles, but Vader is now at his breaking point and uses the Force to savagely grip the rebel's hand to the grenade he is holding, literally making him unable to drop it. As the grenade erupts into a massive red fireball, the entire building complex is destroyed and Vader returns to his surviving clone troopers. Vader firmly asks his clone trooper where the fugitive Jedi is, and the trooper is flustered and has no idea where he is. Luckily for Vader, however, Cho'na reveals himself to Vader in a nearby cave and invites Vader to come in and face him like a real man. Soon after this, Vader's trooper calls him and tells the Dark Lord that his force is down a dozen men, but weapons are at 87%. The brave trooper is in the middle of pledging himself to Vader's orders, but Vader clenches his fist with rage and tells the clone that there will be no pursuit. The trooper is shocked and confused by this, but Vader angrily explains that the Jedi seeks to lure them farther from the city as a distraction. Immediately after he says this, Vader is completely done with this poor clone trooper, lifting him up into the air with the Force before slamming him headfirst into a nearby rock. The clone trooper fortunately does survive the horrible attack by Vader and is forced to watch on as Vader storms away from him and declares that the Jedi will die soon, but not today. Following this, Vader sends his Imperial Security Bureau officer, Onyé Namada, into the main marketplace of the town, and she strolls around the area, eventually stopping at her favorite stall to get a sweet roll. The owner tells her that he only has the one with nuts left, which she absolutely hates, but he has no sympathy for her and tells her just to scrape them off since she scares away all of his other customers. As the conversation continues, Onyé tells the owner that she's been very friendly to him, mainly because he makes good pastries, but he can't keep covering for the rebels and the fugitives. The Imperial officer knows that the owner was inside of a cantina last night where donations were being collected for the insurgency. The owner, John, tells her in response that he had absolutely nothing to do with it, and the Imperial officer coldly responds by saying, "You know what the Jedi have done. Order 66 was issued for a reason." Onyé then begs that John not defend the Jedi cultists, and he truly doesn't see them as the glowing protectors of the galaxy that they once were thought of, but compared to Palpatine's new order, he would take their rule any day. Before the conversation can go any further, however, Vader himself passes through the center of the town, with the 501st clone troopers inspecting every inch of the area and intimidating the local residents. Following this, Major Namada is forced to leave the area and return to her base of operations. Meanwhile, Vader is being briefed by the group of Imperial officers who inform him that as long as the fugitive Jedi, Cho'na, has the support of the locals, his insurgency and treason can never be stopped. The Imperial officers then devolve into a frenzy as Major Namada informs the other officers that the people of Vulcan have Jedi in their blood. Killing only one of them won't kill the root of the problem. As the bickering continues, Vader completely snaps, furiously punching the table and leaving a massive crack in it, declaring that he will find and defeat Cho'na himself. In Vader's eyes, the Imperials waste way too much time on bureaucracy and can't get the job done. Following this, Onyé thinks to herself, There's a reason I've never spoken to Lord Vader, same reason we all believed him when he made his proclamation. The man can't say a word without being terrifying. Maybe that's why he doesn't talk much. Soon after this, Vader moves into a prisoner interrogation room where he begins grilling a captured Jedi criminal about the location of Cho'na. The Jedi refuses to give up anything about the fugitive, and Vader gets frustrated, savagely telling him that he should never have earned the title of Jedi Knight. And this is coming from the man who never got the rank of Jedi Master. As he is about to leave the room, Vader gives the captured Jedi one final chance to reveal the location of Cho'na and will grant him the opportunity to live if he does. The captured Jedi, however, holds firm in the light side of the Force and refuses to give the fugitive's location, knowing that it will be the end of him. Tragically, this leaves Vader with no choice, leading the Dark Lord to horrifically and brutally crush the heart of the captured Jedi Knight, putting him in unimaginable pain. Vader even taunts the Jedi, chillingly asking him why his heart is beating so desperately, before finally saying, "Are you afraid?" Finally, the captured Jedi cracks, revealing that Cho'na is hiding out in the caverns near the outer ruins of the city. Just as Vader is about to finish off the poor Jedi, a massive explosion rips through the building, hurting many Imperials, but crucially leaving the Jedi alive. A blast charge was delivered into the building via a mouse droid controlled by the rebels on the planet. The rebels who blasted the building then immediately storm in and attempt to take Vader down, but he is filled with the dark side of the Force, furiously pushing the rebels back and hurling bundles of rubble right back at them. This then gives the captured Jedi the opportunity to break free from his shackles and rush towards Vader, ready to tackle him to the ground, but Vader is far too alert, immediately slashing him through the neck and delivering a killing blow. The people of the planet saw the attack on the Imperial facility as a valiant strike against an impossible target and viewed the fallen Jedi as a war hero, but this forced Vader to go into hiding until he could come up with a new strategy. Vader eventually contacts his master, giving him a status update on the Vulcan insurgency, but things don't go too well for the Dark Lord. Vader is so frustrated that he can't take down the Jedi fugitive that he wants to bombard the entire planet, including the civilians, in order to kill the Jedi by brute force. This enrages Palpatine, as it will destroy the entire planet and its resources, which are crucial to the Empire holding its power over the citizens of the galaxy. Palpatine also notes that the Empire cannot rule by fear just yet, because the Galactic Empire is still far too new and fresh. Sidious then angrily hangs up the holo communication, and Vader begins to go into a deep meditation to decide what his next move will be. 3 days after the attack on the Imperial building, Major Namada received a summons to meet with senior Imperial staff aboard the command ship above the planet. Onyé expects that she will be held responsible for the security failures and allowing the blast to happen. She knows she messed up the small things, but she can't be to blame for the entire event. Onyé goes into the briefing hoping for a short sentence of 2 to 4 years in Imperial prison. Following this, Onyé Namada personally meets with Vader, and Vader asks her to help him understand why the people of Vulcan are so loyal to the Jedi. She is shocked, but quietly happy that she's not being punished just yet. Vader wants to use this knowledge to take the rebellion down from the inside and awaken a nightmare among the population, spreading terror and fear into their hearts. Vader wants to make them forget that the Jedi ever existed. And we'll have to wait until part 2 to find out how he does this. Make sure you're subscribed for that. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.